Hey guys, it's George from Diamondyard Sportscards. I'm here with some pickups from a mail day, and this is over a course of probably about a couple months. So I didn't just buy these cards last week. Wanted to go over them with you guys. Happy Sunday to everybody. Hope everybody's having a great time with their friends and family. So without further ado, here we go. The first card I got, my wife picked up for me, and it was this Roy Hobbs card. Now, this is a takeoff on the 1940 play ball, which I guess the natural is supposed to be set in 1939. And so this Hobbs card, even though it's in color, it's a knockoff, obviously, of that year. But when you look at those numbers, I mean, you know, Roy was the natural. I mean, he had 51 homers, 106 RBIs, and batted .557 in only 307 at bats, you know, because he came up about mid-season. But anyway, so I thought this was a cool card that my wife picked up for me. So we're going to put Roy right here in one of these fancy stand-ups. The next card I picked up was a 1921 strip card. And as you guys kind of know, I've been picking up some strip cards and getting them graded. The last one was a Cobb. This one's a Walter Johnson. And so this Johnson is a little bit brown, but I think it might have a chance to get a grade. This is a W551 1921 Walter Johnson. So there's no stats in the back, obviously, but it is pretty clean. And you know, when you kind of that 1920s flapper Art Deco kind of art on here. And this one has, I believe, only 26 have given numerical grades. There's 86 graded, 60 authentic, and 26 with numeric grades. So maybe it gets a numeric grade like the Cobb in the video I had previously. So we shall see. Next card, shout out to Ray from Philly and Myco, is a Michael Jack Schmidt. And this is from his MVP season in 1980. It's a Gem Mint 10. It's his first MVP season. He would go on to win the MVP in 81 and I believe in 86. So a three-time MVP for what many people consider to be the greatest, at least the greatest hitting third baseman of all time. Also Golden Glover. Michael Jack Schmidt of the world champion 1980 Philadelphia Phillies. Next card, I'm trying to build my Clemente, my Mays, and my Aaron registry. And so you will see kind of that's part of it. I've been searching for one of these. It's not a super high grade, but it is a really nice 64 Clemente and a 6. Now you can see here the centering on this card is really good. There's really, the surface is really nice. There's a couple fish eyes with the I and the R in Pirates. But other than that, there's really not a whole lot wrong with this card. And for some reason, the 64 Clemente seem to go for a little bit more money than like the 64 Mays or the 64 Aaron. But real nice card of the man who had, I believe, the highest batting average in the 1960s and the most batting titles in the 1960s. Next one, shout out to Snoop, SGC. SGC in the house, Joe Morgan, 1965 Houston Colt 45's rookie stars. So Joe Morgan here, I didn't have a Morgan rookie, and I'm trying to get into some Joe Morgan stuff lately. He was just an all-time great. And I was thinking, you know, this 7.5, it looks really nice. This card might even cross the PSA or crack it out and just see what PSA has to say about it. But it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot wrong with it. It's really nice. The back is really blue. And real clean up. There's like kind of a print mark in the upper right hand corner, but overall it's a really nice Morgan rookie. So we'll put him in the back here. Next one is a jersey card, and it's Satchel Paige. Upper Deck Sweet Spot Classic Materials in a PSA 10. This page, I have another one of these. I just love to collect Satchel Paige cards. And Nate, Tops 85 401, shout out to Nate, had kind of talked to me a little bit about in the past about looking at to see where the provenance of the card is. I mean, there's a lot of cards that don't say where it comes from or where they at least purport that it comes from. This says it's a Satchel Paige pants card used by him in a game with the Cleveland Indians. So these are some provenance about where it's from. You can see it's got really neat little stitching there on the piece of fabric. So really happy to pick up the satchel. It wasn't super expensive. I mean, it was probably about $100 plus. Been not really big into collecting Koufax, but this one came up and I couldn't resist it. It's 1958, 6.5, and it's real clean. There's a few little marks on it, but the centering on this Koufax is really nice, and 58 cards are so tough to get a centered card. Looks nice. Let's see if I can get a better picture of this one. But as you can see there, though, there's a few print marks, but overall, it's a pretty nice 6.5. The back's real clean, and even then it shows. Even this is before, obviously, in 59 or 58 when he before he really started to crush it and have those tremendously historical seasons. But they were talking about his fastball even then, and that will go right there. Heading towards the end here, I have 1, 2, 3 more cards. This is part of my Hank registry. It's a 70 Hank in a 8.5. Now, I'm not a real big fan of this specific look on Hank's face here, but it's still a very nice card. And I didn't have a 1970 card, and I certainly wasn't going to be able to probably get a 9, but an 8.5 I'm more than happy with. This was one that came up kind of later at night, and nobody had bid on it, and I bid on it and got it. So a real nice Hank here to add to the registry, an 8.5. And maybe I get this looked at by PSA for a review. We shall see. It doesn't have the hologram or any hologram, old or new, there. So it was graded a long time ago. This card was a pre-war, high-end certified card, but I didn't buy it from pre-war. I bought it from a private seller, and the cert numbers match up with the sticker on the back of the card. Been working on the Mays stuff lately, and it's a 1964 Willie Mays in a PSA 8. Now, it's a really old grade. You can see there at the top, that flip is I think one of the oldest flips they have, but this Mays is really sharp. Colors are real nice. Corners are really nice, so maybe I can submit this one as well for a possible review. Back's pretty nice. There are some black marks on the back on the left there. It's not perfect. The Clemente's back might actually be a little bit better, even though the Clemente is a little short on one side. So if you compare those, you can see the Clemente is really a lot more orange, but the centering on the back isn't quite as good. So that is a PSA 8 64 Mays. Really happy with this card. And it's a pre-war high-end. What does that mean? I don't know. They actually reevaluate cards, talk to them during each auction, so it's not like this sticks with the card. But it does have the cert number that matches from pre-war right there, 164. Anyway, so it's the same number as is on this, 164. So last card is it's a card that seems kind of common, but it's not. This is a Jackie Robinson exhibits card. And these exhibits cards came out between 47 and 66. This is a 5.5. It's a real nice card. I didn't have one and just came up. But there aren't that many of these graded. I think there's around 180 or so total of them graded. There are very few 10s on this. And Jackie has one card in this set, and that's the image that you really can't get on any other card. That's a really nice image of him rounding the base. He's fundamentally sound rounding on the inside of the base. And maybe he's going rounding third, rounding second, rounding first. I can't tell. But there are multiple cards of Mays and multiple of Mantle, but just one of Robinson. So, guys, thanks for watching so much. Have a great Sunday and keep collecting.